on the road on this day 3 of the daily vlog, January 3rd, 2026. Let's talk about contentment today. What do you think? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? If you're content with where you're at, is that a good thing? Or is that a bad thing? If you're content with what you have, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think that's where what we need to look at is that contentment can be good, but it also can be bad, right? It's Saturday. I'd be more content being at home than being at work, But if I'm at work, I'm making money. If I'm at home, I'm not. So, the lifestyle I desire is that we can be on the road in our RV, making money, doing life, the RV lifestyle, seeing the country. That's what I desire to do. And when I started this business, I thought we'd be able to do that a lot, and we just have not been able to. We've been in our RV less since I started the RV repair business than we were before. So, anyhow, I got to build the business first, and then hopefully I can have people here still in the Texoma area working, so I'm still making money, and then I can travel, and I can do a little bit even when we're traveling. I don't want to be working the whole time when we're traveling, right? So, I don't know, I just thought about the contentment thing because, I was looking at this, a lot of times I catch myself desiring what some of my customers have, that freedom to go and live that RV lifestyle, if you will. And honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think being content with the things that I have and not desiring, keeping up with the Joneses. I think that's a good thing. I think if you desire those things, that's bad. If you desire always to have what someone else has got, that's not good. It's not healthy for you anyhow. But anyhow, I just was thinking about that this morning as I was getting ready begrudgingly to go and work on an RV. It was a plumbing job. Their sink's not draining, so I gotta go and try to figure out what's going on with it. They've tried a lot of different stuff, but I got everything explained to them. We will have to have a different approach if it does it again. So, but where are you at? Are you content? Are you happy with what you've got? That's what it's not always the best thing to be content, but I hear and I understand why. In Scripture it talks about being content, and that is good. That is a good thing to be content with. You don't need to be craving what someone else has. Just because they have that lifestyle doesn't mean you're going to be content once you have it. Because there's plenty of people out there that have a lot and they're not content with their life. They're always craving to have more. So I don't think you're ever going to be fully content, but being content with what your circumstances are. You can always change your circumstances. That's the only thing you can control. You can't control your circumstances. You can only control your attitude towards those circumstances, right? Look at these trailers over here. I so badly want a trailer, but anyhow, there we go, right there. That's what I'm talking about. As far as this vlog, this YouTube thing goes, only thing really what I'm doing is to kind of hold myself accountable, document where I'm at, how I'm handling things. If I'm, I don't want to go down that that road of having a negative attitude about things. So this is right here where driving can be my biggest trigger, where I'm not happy with the way that person's driving in front of me, or the way that, somebody cut me off or whatever. I get so upset and so angry really quick that I have to really check myself. So it's a good thing that I'm videoing, even though I can edit it. It's a good thing right now that I'm videoing me driving. Keeps me in check, right? So that's good. I can probably need to do more of that. Talk while I'm driving. But yeah, it's a beautiful Saturday in January. It's gonna get up to about 70, I think, today. It was like 47 this morning. It's a beautiful day. I would like to get out and do something, especially in my wood shop today. But there's a movie I've been wanting to see. It's the I don't remember what it's called now, but it's the Neil Diamond movie. It's about the guy that was a cover band for Neil Diamond or whatever. He did covers of him, but I want to see that. Grew up, my parents listened to Neil Diamond, so those songs just bring back those memories. Just love that music. Neil Diamond and Barry Manilow, Kenny Rogers. I remember going to those concerts all the time whenever they were in town. Speaking of concerts, remember when they used to be affordable? It's hard. I know that's where they make their money nowadays, is off the concerts, not actually off the... So, what kind of employee are you? I asked that because, I was a horrible employee. I don't know how I am as a business owner. I own my own business, but I'm the only employee. Staff meetings are always easy. Everybody's always 100% on board with what I got, so I like that. But if this business grows, then I got to bring in more people, right? Got to bring in people. I want to bring in family, though. I want to build it around family, and that's something I learned when I went to this school. Is more about the business part of it, owning the business. I didn't understand anything about. Really, I knew LLC was kinda. I already had one. I had an LLC. I'd started one back when we sold our house in the colony because I wanted to start my own kind of woodworking business. But as far as that was about all I knew, is that you need to have an LLC, a limited liability corporation, right? Keep you from being sued personally or however, whatever that. I don't even know if I understand it now, to be honest with you. But then when I went to the school, I learned about S corps. That if you're making over a certain amount of money in your business, then you need to start an S corp. But again, no financial advice here. I'm not a finance person by any means. But I was like, whoa, I've never heard of this before. There's just so much out there that we don't know about that they don't teach you either in school, or they just don't teach you, period, whatever. But I'm so interested in learning some of this stuff and seeing if I, trying to achieve that, trying to achieve an S corp, and where I've got employees and I get a paycheck, they get a paycheck, and then the family members are my board members, and we take a cruise and we have a board meeting on the cruise. I heard all these stories about this kind of stuff. Whether or not that's how it really works, I don't know. But I'm more interested in it. I'm learning. I want to learn more about that. So I've got to get me a CPA that understands that kind of stuff and can kind of help guide me through it. So I'm not content with what I have right now. I do want more, but I just wonder, is that bad? Is it bad that I do want more, or is that a good thing? Because I am trying to provide for my family and for their future, for their kids and their kids and what have you. Provide for them in a way that I can leave Well, it's building a legacy, right? You want to build a legacy, you want to achieve something, but contentment, being just content with what you have. You see people that in life, maybe it's through church or through business, whatever, you see people that they seem content, and maybe maybe they're really not behind closed doors. Maybe that at home they're a different person, but a lot of people I feel like are not content with where they're at. And I say that because like on I keep saying you say that, I say that. I gotta eliminate that from these videos. Sorry, y'all gotta bear with me. There's only like 2 people watching, I think, but 2 people on the last video. I think I had 8 views or 12 views in the video before. But what I was thinking is that there's a lot of people on some of these message boards or Facebook, like the local Facebook, like for Sherman. Sherman has a All Things Sherman page. And there's people always coming on there and asking for help, financial help. Oh, I need to make my rent. Anybody got any odd jobs that I can do, or what have you? And our circumstances, you can't control the circumstance you may be in, but you can control your attitude. You can control what you do, right? So how do you get that through to people? How do you help them without hurting them? Because I tend to want to help people a lot, but it's not always the best thing because it may hurt them. They become dependent. Working in the homeless field for many years, I just learned that the more you help some certain people, the more they just became dependent upon you. And that's not good. That's not healthy for them, but it's definitely not healthy for you to have somebody to be dependent upon you. So how do you help people in your community? You can guide them towards a church or something like that maybe help them. But I find that a lot of churches they try to keep away from that. They don't want to help people. Shouldn't say it like that, but it's just it gets messy. And I used to teach churches. They would have somebody homeless and they're paying for them to stay in a hotel or what have you, and then they would they get burdened by it, and the church members start like it's too much, and I'm like, yep, don't do it, because by you helping that person, you're providing for them. Prevented agencies like mine to help them with the real need. And the real need was a life with Jesus. The real need was they needed to go to some type of program. Like I got to the point where I wouldn't even put somebody in a program less than a year because it didn't work. I had people go make it 3 months and get back out, and then they go right back to the same lifestyle that they knew from before, and it just never worked. So 6 months didn't work. It seemed like a year was the key. That was the time that it took for somebody to completely turn their life over. And I just I say that because I don't know what the answer is. There's so many people out there in need. Why are they in need? But I just want to talk about contentment today, and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. And I think it just depends. I think that's what it boils down to. It depends if it's good or bad. To be content with where you're at in life, maybe not. Just depends on you. I'm not content with what I'm at. I want more, but I don't think that's in a negative way. I think I want more because I want to be able to travel and see the country, and that's where I'm at. And I'm gonna do it from an RV. I'd love to. We have a little travel trailer right now. Couldn't have a fifth wheel with this because all my tools and everything are in the back of this. So if we did it full time, we'd probably have to have a fifth wheel, something bigger. We want something with a patio, so that when we're, something that we can do off grid, what have you. And I can do all that work, so it'll be cheaper with me learning this trade to be able to do that. So I'm just not content with what we have right now. I am content with our home, I'm content with the possessions that I have. I'm not, trying to catch up with the Joneses. Is that how it goes? Anyhow. So, hope this finds y'all all well today. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll hopefully see you on the next one. God bless. Y'all take care.